Okay, so today we're going to start talking about letter writing. And we are going to read Dear Mrs. LaRue.
Hey.
And what we have is that we have the dog, and the dog is writing letters. And that's what we're going to be doing, is writing letters. We've talked about narrative writing, and we've written stories. So the new type of writing that I'm going to introduce is writing letters. Okay, so let's read about Mrs. LaRue. Local dog enters obedience school. Ike LaRue, citing a long list of behavioral problems, Snort City resident Gertrude R. LaRue yesterday enrolled her dog Ike in the Igor Rottweiler Canine Academy. Established in 1953, the academy has a history of dealing with such issues. I'm at my wit's end, said Mrs. LaRue. I love Ike, but I'm afraid he's quite spoiled. He steals food right off the kitchen counter, chases the neighborhood's cat, howls whenever I'm away, and last week while I was crossing the street, he pulled me down and tore my best camel's hair coat. I just don't know what else to do. School officials were unavailable for comments. Dear Mrs. LaRue, October 1st. How could you do this to me? This is a prison, not a school. You should see the other dogs. They are bad dogs, Mrs. LaRue. I do not fit in. Even the journey here was a horror. I'm very unhappy and may need something to chew on when I get home. Please come right away. Sincerely, Ike. So this is what it's really like. This is what he's pretending it is. Dear Mrs. LaRue, October 2nd. Were you really so upset about the chicken pie? You know you might have discussed it with me. You could have said, I don't eat the chicken pie. I'm saving it for dinner. Would that have been so difficult? It would have prevented a lot of hard feelings. Needless to say, I'm being horribly mistreated. You say I should be patient and accept that. I'll be here through the term. Are you aware that the term lasts 2 months? Do you know how long that is in dog years? Sincerely, Ike. October 3rd. Dear Mrs. LaRue, I'd like to clear up some misconceptions about the Hibbins cat. First, they are hardly the little angels Mrs. Hibbins makes them out to be. Second, how should I know what they were doing on the fire escape in the middle of January? They were being a little bit melodramatic, don't you think? The way they cried and refused to come down, it's hard to believe they were really sick for 3 whole days. But you know cats. Your dog, Ike. October 4th. Dear Mrs. LaRue, you should see what goes on around here. The way my warden, Miss Klondike barks orders is shocking. Day after day, I'm forced to perform all of these meaningless tasks.
Yes.
Today it was sit and roll over. All day, I flatly refuse to roll over. It's ridiculous. I won't do it. Of course, I was severely punished. And another thing, who will help you cross the street while I'm away? You know you have a bad habit of not looking both ways. Think of all those times I've saved you. Well, there was that one time anyway. I must say you weren't very grateful in complaining on and on about the tiny rip in your ratty old coat. Huh. But the point is you need me. Yours, Ike. Look at him being drunk off.
That's fake.
Yeah. The black and white pictures are, yes, the black and white ones. October 5th, dear Mrs. LaRue, the guards here are all caught up in this good dog, bad dog thing. I hear it constantly. Good dog, Ike. Don't be a bad dog, Ike. Is it really so bad to sit like a lummox all day? Nevertheless, I refuse to be broken. Miss Klondike has taken my typewriter. She claims it disrupts the other dogs. Does anybody care that the other dogs disturb me? Yours, Ike. October 6th. Dear Mrs. LaRue, were the neighbors really complaining about my howling? It is hard to imagine. First, I didn't howl that much. You were away all those nights, so you wouldn't know. But trust me, it was quite moderate. Second, let's recall that there are the same neighbors who are constantly waking me up in the middle of the afternoon with loud vacuuming. I say, we all have to learn to get along. My life here continues to be a nightmare. You wouldn't believe what goes on in the cafeteria. Sincerely, Ike. P.S. I don't want to alarm you, but the thought of escape has crossed my mind. Okay, so we're going to stop right here. What I want you to do is I want you to notice the writing. What do you notice about a letter writing that's different than our narrative writing, the writings that we've done before? What do you notice? Morgan, what do you notice?
When you do this, you actually you do an ending and a opening. Like dear, so.
Oh, okay. You have, that's called a greeting, and then you have your closing.
Like dear and then sincerely or from.
Right. So every morning I write you a letter. Did you realize that the morning message every morning is a letter that I write to you guys? So every morning, what is my greeting to you guys?
Dear boys and girls.
What is my closing?
Love, Mrs. Tripp.
Mrs. Tripp is my signature. Look there, there's Ike's signature. Do you always have to put love or sincerely? No, because what does it say here? He has what? Honestly yours. You can put your friend. If you write a fan letter, you would put your biggest fan. Let's see, what else could you use? Sincerely, love, from, your friend.
Your sister.
Your sister, if you're writing to a sibling. What else do you notice that he wrote in this corner every single time?
The date.
What did he write? The date. Yeah, he wrote the date. So, as you see, we have the greeting on the right-hand side of your paper at the top. Now, does your letter start right after the greeting? No, it doesn't. They go down, don't they? And since he didn't indent on this page, but did he indent? Yeah, he indented. Indentation is where your new paragraph starts. And so you have in a letter, you have the greeting. This is what's called your body, the closing, signature, and date. So during writing time, you can practice writing a letter. You can practice writing a story. So let's go ahead and let's stop what we're doing and stand up. You guys can go back to your seats.